Hello, everybody, and welcome to the lesson. In this lesson, we will look at the noun clause, which is one of my favorite things to teach. I love the noun clause. And this is conversation 4 in lesson 3. And in this lesson, we're going to do talk blocks, which is a kind of a cool way to do a listening only dictation. And that's our listening puzzle. But first, we will do a listening comprehension quiz. So we will hear two people talking, a rumor. They will be talking about a rumor. And the three questions are, who did not come on the trip? Who asked him not to come? And who are they surprised to see? Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
It's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip.
Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her.
That's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him.
Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose.
You are right. It's still not the same without him.
Hey, speak of the devil. There she is.
All right, welcome back. Now, this conversation is a little more difficult. This is the advanced level, and we had 3 questions. Now, could you hear the answers? So question 1 was, who did not come on the trip? And the answer is Jason. Question 2, who asked him not to come? And the answer is his girlfriend, or one person claims it was his girlfriend. And then question 3, who are they surprised to see? And the answer is also his girlfriend. So this is actually a useful lesson because it talks about rumors, right? When you hear something. What I heard was, and so we're going to look into how we use this very common noun clause to talk about rumors. Okay, but when we do this, we have a grammar puzzle. And this is talk blocks, and talk blocks works like dictation. We want to hear every word. So rather than write them down, you will have clues to how many words are in a puzzle, and can you catch every word? So here we go. Here's number 1. What words can you catch?
It's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip.
Listen one more time.
It's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip.
So she said, it's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip. And so, as we've learned in other lessons, we often chunk our words. So we have, it's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip.
It's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip.
All right, number 2, we have 9 words. What do you hear?
Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend.
She said, well, actually, let's play it one more time. How about one more time?
Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend.
Maybe, first I should click the answers here first. Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend. And actually, we would kind of chunk it like this. Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend.
Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend.
So notice we say this really fast. He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be. So that's like one sound. He didn't want to be. Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend. Okay, next.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
Ooh, one more time.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come. And here we have 3 chunks. What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
And here we have our first noun clause. This is a kind of a complex noun clause, what I heard. And this is the rumor that I heard, the information that I heard, right? The story that I heard. So we're changing an adjective clause actually into a noun clause. And we'll explain this when we get to the end. But we do have some reductions. She asked him not to. She asked him not to come. So we have some reduced sounds.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
She asked him not to come. Okay, next.
Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her.
Again.
Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her.
Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her. So we have quite a few chunks here. Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her.
Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her.
That's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him.
Okay, this one's long. Let's try it again.
That's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him.
That's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him. We actually could have that here, but she doesn't say it actually. So that's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him.
That's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him.
So again, we have a noun clause here, what I heard. That's not the information that I heard. That's not, the story that I heard. So here we have a very simple noun clause referring to something that was said. All right, number 6.
Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose.
Ooh, this one's long.
Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose.
Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose. So again, we have our chunks. Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose.
Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose.
And here we have another noun clause. So here, what really happened, or the events that happened, the situation that took place, right? So this is a noun clause. And so a noun clause is basically just a concept or an idea. It has a subject and it has a verb. And we're going to look at this actually coming up in the grammar section soon.
You are right. It's still not the same without him.
Again?
You are right. It's still not the same without him.
You are right. It's still not the same without him. So here, this is kind of a cool phrase. It's still not the same without him. Here she means if the person is there, it's going to be better or it's going to be more fun. So when something is missing and the thing that's missing makes something not as fun or interesting, we say it's not the same without, right? So here we're referring to a person. So if you say, oh, it's not the same without him, that means if the person was there, it would be more interesting or things would be different. And our chunks are, you were right, it's still not the same without him. And without him is heavily reduced, without him.
You are right. It's still not the same without him.
Although actually she did say it kind of clearly there. Okay, next.
Hey, speak of the devil. There she is.
Hey, speak of the devil, there she is. So here, hey, speak of the devil, there she is. So speak of the devil is a common phrase in English, and we use it when we're talking about somebody and then you see them, we say speak of the devil. I think it comes from old religious times where if you talked about the devil, then the devil would appear. I think that's where it comes from. But if you say speak of the devil, it means that you were talking about somebody and then you see them or they appear, they come up to you. You could even say it to the person. If they come up and you go, oh, speak of the devil, that lets the person know you were just talking about them. It doesn't really have a negative meaning. It's just something that people say. It's a common phrase. And then we have there she is, right? There she is. There he is. There she is. That's like a nice phrase that we say when we see somebody, and it's kind of like a welcoming phrase, like, oh, cool, look who's here, type of thing.
Hey, speak of the devil. There she is.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and look at some grammar. So here are three statements, and we can see how we use the noun clause. So number one, we have, that's not the information I heard. You could also say, that's not what I heard. So here, this is an adjective clause, right? So you have a noun plus a relative pronoun. So it's also a relative clause. We just talked about relative clauses, but this type of relative clause we call an adjective clause. And an adjective clause can also be a noun clause. So all noun clauses, not all noun clauses, many noun clauses with WH words are actually adjective clauses. So you could say, that's not what I heard, or that's not the information that I heard, but that's not what I heard is better because what is talking about kind of an abstract idea that both of you know what you are referring to. So here's another sentence. The rumor that I heard was that she broke up with him. You could also say, what I heard was that she broke up with him. So this would be an adjective clause. This is a noun clause. Both meanings are the same. It's smoother and better here in this case if you use the noun clause. What I heard was that she broke up with him. And also, this is a special type of construction where you reorder the words for emphasis. Because you could say, I heard she broke up with him. But if you use this construction, what I heard was that she broke up with him, you have added emphasis. So this is a way to have added emphasis when you talk about something, using a noun clause in this way. Again, you could say it both ways. The simple way, I heard she broke up with him, or what I heard was that she broke up with him. Both are okay. All right, and then our last one, we have the events that happened is none of our business. And I got to kind of fiddle with the grammar a little bit here. You'll see why. But we could say what happened is none of our business. So here we have an adjective clause. Here we have a noun clause. And both of them have the same meaning. So what happened is none of our business. I think he said what really happened is none of our business in the conversation. And none of our business is a common phrase. It's none of our business. When you say it's none of your business, it's none of our business, that means you should not worry about it. It's somebody's personal situation. It's not related to you. You shouldn't be nosy and trying to figure something out, right? If it's none of your business, that means it's not of your concern. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Now, what we're going to do is watch the conversation one more time. This time you can listen and hear it, and you could also see those noun clauses. And when we come back on the other side, I have a couple questions for you, and you should be able to use a noun clause. So here we go.
It's too bad Jason couldn't make the trip.
Maybe he didn't want to be around his ex-girlfriend.
What I heard was that she asked him not to come.
Well, he did break up with her, so I don't blame her.
That's not what I heard. I heard she broke up with him.
Well, what really happened is none of our business, I suppose.
You are right. It's still not the same without him.
Hey, speak of the devil. There she is.
All right, welcome back. So before we leave, I have a couple things to ask you, and maybe you could use a noun clause with your response. So, for example, now the Olympics are happening, and there are many stories that they have problems at the Olympics. So you could say something about the Olympics if you heard something by going, what I heard was that, right? Or what I heard is that. So I will give you a situation and answer it, and then you can think of maybe your own answer to this situation. So the first one is, have you heard about the situation with the Olympics in Paris? Yeah. What I heard was that they are having trouble with food supplies for the athletes, right? So you hear something, and then you could be like, oh, what I heard was that blah, 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 blah. There's another one. So recently in the news, there's been some protests in Barcelona about tourism. And so somebody might say something like, hey, did you hear about what's happening in Barcelona with tourists? Yeah, what I heard was that people are really upset because so many tourists are causing problems and prices are going up. So those are two examples of using a noun clause with a phrase like what I heard is, what I heard was that. So can you answer the question? Here we go. Or can you make us a follow-up to this statement? Have you heard about the situation in Paris with the Olympics? Also, have you heard about the situation in Barcelona with the protests over tourism? And that's it. Thank you so much. So you can go to Allo and hear 4 or 3 more conversations like this one using the noun clause. We also have another easier a set of conversations with the noun clause in B1, I believe. So I will put those 2 links below. You can check them out. And with the noun clause, my recommendation is you always have your ears open for it. Whenever you hear what or where or how in English, it doesn't always mean it's a question. Often it's a noun clause, and we use them in noun clauses all the time. And that's it. Thanks so much. I appreciate you listening. It always makes me feel good when I hear that students are using the lessons. That's why I make them. And have a nice day. Have a nice summer. Talk to you soon. And remember, the more you listen, the faster you learn.